Okay, so we're going to send a few MQTT messages to see if they're going to be placed in our DynamoDB table. So let's just send 2 messages maybe. And let's go over here to our DynamoDB table.
Yes.
Run.
Yes. Yes. Delete them all. Delete every.
Yeah, okay.
All. Yes, it's better.
Okay, so let's send a few MQTT messages and see if they're going to be placed in our DynamoDB table. So let's send maybe just 2 messages. And let's go over here to our DynamoDB table. We run and
check, check events. Yeah. 2, yes.
It should be this one.
Yeah. Is there any error there? Yes. Validation exception. Yes, you have a validation exception here because it needs a decimal. You need a conversion to decimal. Yes. So yeah, you have to update this, right?
We have to update this. Okay, so let's modify this part. We should obviously do the decimal conversion, and also for the timestamp, we're going to use event time that's in the event records. So we're going to first of all load the JSON file. There you go. So as you can see, it should go, yeah, like this. We load the JSON file and then we add the timestamp.
Yes, absolutely. Add the timestamp from event. Exactly. Yes, you already have the. Yes.
Yeah, but I think in our Dynamo
it was
table we called it time.
Time. Check if it's capital letter or small letter. Just
yeah, I think it's.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so it's.
It's time. Yeah, good.
So yeah, now we have the event time, so the exact time at which.
So we have to convert. Now we have to convert. Since DynamoDB doesn't accept the integer values, float values, yes, this is exactly what you need. Yes. All right. Absolutely. And
everything.
All the messages within DynamoDB table. Exactly. Perfect.
There we go. We are going to deploy.
Yes, and check.
And then we're going to go back to our code and send a few messages again and see if we're going to see them appear in our DynamoDB table. Let's send 3. Okay, that should be enough. Now we're going back to our DynamoDB table, explore items, and then we run.
And here are your messages.
We got our data.
Perfect. Can you check our
CloudWatch?
Our CloudWatch, exactly.
Sure, yes. So let's go back to our CloudWatch. I'm going to check, refresh here to get the last event. And as you can see, well, here we're getting the print that we already wrote before, but now we don't have any issues or any errors. We just have information about the duration of the execution of the code. So it's all good.
Yes. So let's go back to the schema we start with.
Of course, sure. So, well, we're going to summarize what was done in part 1 and part 2, and that concludes the whole scenario. So we started with a virtual IoT device, or multiple virtual IoT devices that were sending MQTT messages to IoT Core, AWS IoT service. And then from IoT Core through message routing, we using rules. So rules were just SQL statements that allowed us to retrieve the information we wanted from all the data that was being sent by our IoT devices. These rules then put the results of the SQL statement in an S3 bucket, and upon this put action, a lambda function was triggered, and this lambda function basically just takes the JSON files stored in the S3 bucket and places them in a NoSQL table, which is the DynamoDB table from AWS.
What is really amazing in this lab, Malek, is the quantity of coding. I mean, the time we are spending coding is not that much long. I mean, if you go back, for example, if you go back to our Lambda function, please, would you like to display the code?
Sure, it's just a few lines. It's like
it's few lines.
41 lines, and there are spaces, but if you remove the spaces, it's going to be very.
So you are collecting your JSON format message, MQTT message, and just enrich the message with time, which is available within the CloudWatch event, which is the result of the S3 triggering of our Lambda function, sorry. And then we just put all together within a message and store it in the table. So yes, with this, we come to the end of this lab. And next lab, what do you suggest, Malak?
In the next lab, we can do many different things. We can include SNS to get messages or emails or even SMS messages sent to our device whenever there is any event taking place. We can choose the event, obviously. The SNS message can also send us the message and also do what we just did now, store the information in DynamoDB through a Lambda function. We can also go look at data brew. We can do so many things. We can look at glue. We can see how to store this in time stream. So yeah, there are many different things. And then we can go to QuickSight as well and see how we can present this data visually. So yeah, so many different scenarios are waiting, and
thank you, thank you, Malak. We have really
it was my pleasure.
Tons of services we have to go through, and it's always a pleasure to make this available for our audience and let them prototype their project and go ahead to fulfill their dreams. Thank you, Malek.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
طب يا streaming cette fois.